Welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. This week's article is Brother Edmundo Rose, Worshipful Master of Rhythm, by Joseph Enrati, and read by Brother Hank Griffin, 32nd degree KCCH, and comes from the November-December 2025 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal.
One summer when I was a kid growing up in the north side of Richmond, Virginia in the 1980s, there was a large community yard sale on the grounds of 13-acre school less than a mile from my front door. My grandmother and I would walk to the sale, and I would spend hours going from booth to booth looking for records I could add to my collection. It was at this yard sale that I bought my first 78 RPM record. As luck would have it, it is also where I found my very first Edmundo Rose album. That album was More Rose on Broadway, in which Rose played popular Broadway hits with Latin American rhythms. While I had never heard of Edmundo Rose, each song on the album was a gem among gems. Brother Edmundo Rose Passmaster OBE was born Edmund William Ross in Port of Spain, Trinidad, on December 7, 1910. From the 1940s to the 1970s, Brother Rose led a very successful Latin band based in London, England, where music lovers the world over came to listen and dance to his music, for he was very much responsible for introducing rumbas, mambo, sambas, and other rhythms of the South, as he styled one of his albums, to a British audience. Brother Rose had studied at the Royal Academy of Music from 1937 to 1942 prior to forming his first Latin band. Radio and recordings brought the exotic music of Edmundo Rose to millions, and his popularity grew. By the 1950s, he was packing clubs and restaurants in London and began touring Europe, Japan, and briefly the U.S. in the 1960s. One of Brother Rose's most popular recordings was a Phase 4 stereo collaboration with Britain's swing king Ted Heath, titled Heath vs. Rose, Swing vs. Latin. Dynamic arrangements in which Ted Heath and his music played in one speaker, challenged by Edmundo Rose and his orchestra in the second speaker. Edmundo Rose spent most of his recording career at the British Decca label, with many of his recordings released on London Records here in the U.S. There are more than 800 recordings of his band available. There were Broadway albums, opera favorites, popular tunes, rock and roll gems, traditional Latin music, and even the sounds of Nashville, all performed in the brilliant Latin style that made Edmundo Rose a household name in the UK. According to Brother Rose's BBC obituary, Queen Elizabeth II, while still princess, danced her first dance in public to his music. In later years, he and his orchestra were often invited to play at Buckingham Palace. For a time, Brother Rose owned a popular dinner and supper club in London. While conducting his swinging Latin dance orchestra, this consummate showman sang in his rich baritone voice and spoke in an upper-class British accent. In 2000, Rose was awarded the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, OBE. In a eulogy delivered by Bernard Phillips at Sprig of Acacia Lodge No. 43, Passmaster Phillips noted that Brother Rose was more English than the English themselves. This brings us to Brother Rose's interesting and vibrant Masonic history. He joined Cheyne Lodge No. 4443, eventually becoming Worshipful Master. Brother Phillips adds, of course, to belong to one lodge only was not enough for Edmundo. He became a member and progressed through the chairs of 5 other craft lodges, 2 chapter lodges, Rose Croix, Mark Master, and was an honorary member of others. He was the vice president of the Masonic Boys' School, life governor of the Masonic Girls' School, grand patron of the Masonic Hospital, life governor of the Masonic Benevolent Institute, and so the list goes on. In addition, Brother Ros was co-founder of Sprig of Acacia Lodge No. 43 in Spain. In 1975, Edmundo Ros decided to disband his orchestra. To ensure that no one could perform his music henceforth, he destroyed most of his arrangements, keeping only a few to perform here and there on brief television and radio appearances. He passed away in Alicante, Spain, on October 21, 2011, at the age of 100. I had not yet formed my own big band, the Royal Virginians, at the time I first learned of Edmundo Ros's music. Yet throughout the ensuing years, I bought every Ros record I could find, and through his recordings, I grew to appreciate the Latin style of dance and big band music. My big band performs Latin music during our many performances, and I often think of Brother Ros when performing. Hindsight is always 20/20, as they say, but I wish I had known he was still living into the 21st century, as I would have written him and asked for advice on band leading, and for performing Latin music especially.
Like and share this article, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you wish to comment, please leave one, and as a reminder, hit the notifications bell. Any accompanying photographs or citations for this article can be found in the corresponding print edition. The Scottish Rite Journal is published by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd Degree, Managing Editor. Thank you for listening.